am stunned that BYU so easily dispatched of ECU on the road. And when I say easily, let's just be very clear about this. BYU absolutely dominated East Carolina. Absolutely dominant from the opening moment of that game. They absolutely dominated. And you say what you want about Bear Bachmeier. The kid threw his ass off, played his ass off. And I told you LJ Martin was going to have 100 for him to win the game. Ran for 101 and a touchdown. And was absolutely the big ticket in this game. And I'm just going to continue to tell you what I've said. What have I said about BYU all year? That defense is terrifying. And when you're getting Jack Kelly with 2 sacks, if that cat's getting in your backfield, just give them the conference championship. If the linebackers, do you guys understand that Jack Kelly and Isaiah Glasgow combined for 4 tackles for loss? That means behind the line of scrimmage. If that's going to continue, and I don't know why it wouldn't, they're going to run away with this conference. Well, because this defense and I looked all day yesterday for a weakness in this BYU defense. Because it was supposed to be the secondary. Up front, the front 7 was going to dominate. I think we all knew that, right? Like the linebackers are intact. You added great defensive linemen. I think we all knew that. Has anybody taken a moment to look at the stats on the season? Now, again, I'm a big believer that BYU, this was a huge test on the road. They've played Portland State, Stanford, and East Carolina, 3 really mediocre teams. But their defense in 3 games has given up 16 points. And they are the best linebacker group. I have no doubt BYU is number 1, Texas Tech is number 2, and I think Utah's number 3 in linebackers in this league. And I'm not certain that it's close. I think BYU is exponentially the best front 7 in the league. I think they're significantly better than Texas Tech's front 7, and I think Tech's got a really good front 7. And their defensive line, I think BYU's secondary is better this year than it was last year. And it's because they're just turned loose. Like, they know the system. They know the calls. Their communication these first 3 games, like I'm looking at the highs and lows of BYU's defense. I can't find a low the last 2 weeks. I can't find a major mistake. And how could you? They've given up 16 points. Like, they're absolutely wrecking people. Mm-hmm. And I think they're going to go to Boulder. And this is going to be a really bad weekend for Colorado. And we'll see, because did BYU come out of that game healthy? And I am telling you right now, Isaiah Glasgow and you guys, have you seen Isaiah Glasgow play football? Honestly, in the comment section, have you seen the guy play football? I'm guessing 99% of us have not seen him play football. If you have not seen Glasgow, and if you have not seen the way that Jack Kelly is able to play freely in space because of how dominant Isaiah Glasgow is, and what Isaiah Glasgow brings, because when you look at the other guys on this defensive line, you look at the pick 6 out of Evan Johnson, and you're just like, bro, I mean, that's cool and everything. The pick 6 out of Evan Johnson was absolute terror out of the quarterback. That's all that was. Absolute domination. And I have not seen a defense in this Big 12. Now, they're not LSU. They're not, I don't even think I think Georgia's, I think Texas has the best defense in the country. If we've learned anything about Texas over the last few weeks, I think Texas has the best defense in the country. I think BYU's a top 7 defense in the entire country. And I know you guys will tell me, oh, you're just being a homer. Monty, you're fat, you're old, you're a Mormon, you're going to die soon.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
The
what's
difference
hard.
is I've watched him and you haven't.
Yeah, I don't disagree. That they're really good. I mean, there's no denying it. I think what's hard when I look at BYU is I feel like, the defense, there's no question your defense is good, but the problem is I don't know how good they can be against good teams because I don't know how good your offense is against a legitimate defense. The
Well,
reality is
now you're talking.
yeah,
Now
I
you're
mean, the
talking.
reality is
Now
like,
you're talking.
and again, I want to be accountable to what I said, what my questions were heading into the East Carolina game, because I did have questions about Bear and he played well. And, I thought that he answered the bell without a doubt. And you won that game convincingly. I agree. Dominant fashion, never a doubt. Like you did what you were supposed to do. You did a good job. You handled that moment and give the guy credit. But like, let's take a second and consider the fact that, yeah, it's 16 points given up against teams that clearly, now having watched them, can't answer your offense. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, Colorado's the best test yet. I think you should beat Colorado. I think Caden Salter and that quarterback group, quite frankly, doesn't value the football and just turns it over way too much. And your defense is undoubtedly going to create 2 turnovers in that game. I have zero question about that. So with that being the case, you're on the road playing a power program. Do we see 30 points against Colorado? Is LJ Martin able to run for 100 yards against Colorado? If you come out of the Colorado game and you beat them 34-14, okay, now we can start having a conversation, right? Because I have no doubt. I agree that BYU's defense is just as talented, just as good, just as physical, like everything you need. But when they're out there, much like Utah's defense, when you're out there for an extended amount of time because your offense can't possess the football for 5 minutes at a time, that's when you start running into problems. So that's all I'm waiting to see. That's my single biggest question for BYU. Against a better defense, what can Bear Bachmeier and the offense do? And if Bear can protect the football, if Aaron Roderick, continues to call a decent game against a better team, then okay, BYU's a good team. But that's what we need to see.
I think, it's funny watching all of Bear Bachmeier's throws. There was a big jump after the bye week. There was a significant improvement just in the way he's releasing the ball. And I think if you look at the, I mean, he certainly had a better weekend than J.K. Sagapulatelli had, because that was a disaster.
But he was due for an off week, though. He had a real hot start. I would
agree with that. He had Bear was significantly better throwing the football than Bryce Underwood was, who, again, I think really struggled, again, throwing the football against Nebraska. I mean, we got to give him credit where credit's due. I mean, Bear Bachmeier is playing way better football. Whatever they did with him during the bye week, I think made a significant improvement. And I do hate a lot of the play calling. I'll be honest with you. I still hate the play calling. What I don't hate is 18 at 25, 246 and a touchdown. And he averaged 10 yards of completion. Those are solid any way you slice it. I hate his running style. He is really uncomfortable running the football. But he gave him a running touchdown, which I like. I think BYU is clearly headed for their biggest test against Colorado. But this league is in some position now where I'm like, God damn. I don't know what. I did not expect non-con for the Big 12 to be this good.